Tonight from the 8 News Now investigators, a man is shot and killed during a live interview, and the shooter facing no charges.
A man is shot and killed during a live interview, and the shooter facing no charges.
The victim's mother just filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the only 2 other adults who were at the scene. She says there's more to this story and sat down only with 8 News Now investigator Vanessa Murphy.
And that's what I didn't have. So I said, you know what, I'm old.
This is a live interview on YouTube, which ends in a tragic way.
Yeah, I'm going to drag you back. No? I don't know what happened there.
37-year-old Lendor Coney Jr. is the man seen in this reflection on the television screen. He died at the scene after being shot in the head, neck, and shoulder. The other 2 adults at the scene, Bree Florence, the homeowner, and Lydell Birch, also known as Mocha Blast, and a cast member from the show Life After Lockup.
I'm not leaving the backyard. I'm not leaving the scene of the crime because I got blood all over my sneakers. If you want me to, I could disarm the gun, take the bullets out of it, or leave it as is.
This is Birch speaking with a 911 operator after Florence made the call.
911 emergency. I need relief. I just had someone break in my house.
Right now, this does appear to be an isolated incident.
Metro Police say Coney showed up at Florence's home. They exchanged words outside. He took out a baseball bat, smashed cars, and then entered the house. It appears he was angry about Birch being inside the home since he and Florence had a history. They had been in an on and off again toxic relationship for close to 3 years, according to his mother and best friend.
I wish he was still here. I wish that this didn't happen, and I'm sorry that it did.
Deborah Gates and Chelsea Ballantyne describe a much different man from the way Coney was described at the scene. A gentle giant at 6'5" who coached basketball and worked security at a middle school.
I miss him every day.
That's while Lydell Birch is accused of being a scam artist, a Facebook page even dedicated to him with more than 3,000 members. Victims of Lydell Birch, dozens of women say he dated and then swindled them. But as for what unfolded at this scene, he won't be charged. The Clark County District Attorney's Office calls it self-defense.
My boyfriend shot him as he broke down my door. The person who went inside the house, the suspect, is he? Do you know who he is? Yes, he was a friend of mine that he liked me, and I broke up. We were like not even together, and he came in the house and said he was gonna beat up my boyfriend, and he broke the door down. He said, and he hit his car, and she said that.
I got it. I got the call set up. I have officers on the way, and I have medical on the way. I need to take a breath for me. Your ex-boyfriend, the one that is shot.
Yes. No, he wasn't even an ex. He was just a friend.
The 8 News Now investigators reached out to both Birch and Florence. During a phone call, Birch used profanity and hung up. In an email, Florence declined to comment.
Still hard to believe today.
How do you handle each day?
Pray to God. Ask God to help me to deal with it because, the feelings come and go. Sometimes I'm angry, mostly sad.
Now to the murder of a 22-year-old nursing student in Georgia, Laken Riley, allegedly killed by a migrant. Governor Brian Kemp is now blaming the White House over its border policy. Our senior national correspondent, Steve Osunsami, is in Athens, Georgia, with more. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Robin. Authorities say that this young woman died of blunt force trauma and say that the man they have in custody used an object to kill her. Federal immigration authorities have now issued what's called a detainer for this murder suspect, which had they done earlier, would have kept him from being released after his other arrests.
Students at the University of Georgia came together to say good things and to say goodbye to 22-year-old Laken Hope Riley.
It is so obvious to me why it feels so dark right now, and that is because we lost one of the brightest lights that there's ever been.
The nursing student from a school nearby was killed on the UGA campus while she was out jogging last week, and her murder has become a case in point in the debate over immigration in America. Police say that her alleged killer is this man, 26-year-old Jose Antonio Ibarra. He's from Venezuela, and according to federal officials, was let go after he was arrested for unlawfully entering the country near El Paso, Texas, a year and a half ago. Georgia's governor is demanding answers from President Biden and his immigration authorities.
Laken's death is a direct result of failed policies on the federal level and an unwillingness by this White House to secure the southern border.
Authorities believe Ibarra illegally entered the U.S. in 2022 and had several run-ins with law enforcement since then, but was paroled or released before customs enforcement agents could step in. His brother, who was also arrested for allegedly carrying a fake green card, was also arrested before by local authorities and released.
That competing trip that President Biden and former President Trump are taking to the U.S. southern border this week really matters to many people, of course, watching this case.
Ibarra is in jail charged with Laken Riley's murder. He is from Venezuela, and according to ICE, he entered the country illegally in 2022 and was later paroled. 11 Alive's Rebecca Lindstrom joining us now in studio.
So, Rebecca, a lot of folks want to know, did Ibarra did he fall through the cracks? Was he even supposed to be up in Athens in the first place when that crime occurred?
Well, from what I can tell, if everyone had followed procedures, the answer is no. There are at least 2 points in time that really could have made a difference.
According to Homeland Security, Jose Ibarra and his wife entered the U.S. near El Paso in September 2022. After being arrested and released, they went to New York. At that time, immigration attorney Pamela Peinado says Venezuelans had special protective status in the U.S.
It could be political unrest, it could be a national disaster, etc. But we're basically allowing these individuals to stay here for a temporary amount of time because it's unsafe to send them back to their home country.
But in an interview with the New York Post, Ibarra's wife says that before their immigration hearing, Jose was arrested for riding a moped with their 5-year-old son while doing food deliveries. Neither were wearing a helmet. At that point, ICE could have taken Jose into custody, but it says he was released before that could happen. The DA's office in Queens has refused to answer our questions, even denying the case exists. After his release, Jose headed to Athens, where his brother was now living. He was only here for about a month when they were both accused of shoplifting from Walmart. According to the police report, the two allegedly stole food and clothes. They were given a citation and let go. A spokesperson with the Athens Clark County Police told me immigration status is handled during the booking process at the jail. And since they weren't arrested, that check wasn't done. But Jose's brother had been arrested the month before on a DUI charge.
When someone is in an agency or in a detention facility that communicates with ICE, ICE will go pick them up. They usually have about 48 to 72 hours to do so.
The Department of Justice says it didn't know about the DUI arrest until last week, after Laken Riley was killed. I have reached out to the sheriff's office to explain what happened, but have not received a response.
Są niezmienne, to jest wycofanie się z Zielonego Ładu całkowicie, to jest ochrona naszych granic, przede wszystkim z Ukrainą, na towary płynące stamtąd, które zagrażają naszemu rolnictwu, i ochrona zwierząt, która polega na tym, że nie ma zgody rolników na likwidację czy ograniczenia hodowli, a takie zakusy są.
New at 10, tonight, surveillance video is raising new questions about the crash that killed a Chicago mother and daughter in St. Louis.
They had just left a Drake concert when the driver blew through a red light. This is new surveillance video of the incident released as the driver appeared in court today. CBS 2's Maribel Gonzalez is live in the newsroom where there's outrage that the driver is out on bond. Maribel.
Yeah, Joe and Erica, there's outrage from the family and also from hundreds of people who have watched that graphic video online. And also because the suspect was initially released after posting $20,000 bail less than 24 hours after he was first charged earlier this month. Tuesday, he was back in court after the prosecution asked the judge to impose new restrictions. New video shows the moment 42-year-old Leticia Bracero and her 21-year-old daughter, Alyssa Cordova, were fatally struck by a driver in St. Louis, Missouri. The Chicago duo had just left a Drake concert on Valentine's Day. In the clip, you can see them crossing the street. And on the right side of the screen, watch as this Jeep runs the red light at a high speed, T-boning a silver SUV and striking Leticia and Alyssa from that impact. We're not showing the moment they were hit. According to court records, the driver, who police say is 22-year-old Monty Henderson, sped for blocks, going as fast as 70 miles per hour, double the speed limit on that street. The graphic video posted and shared widely on social media leaked as the suspect is free on bond, facing multiple charges including 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
Not thrilled that the tape was released. I'd like to get to the bottom of that. I don't understand why and how it got released into the general public this time.
Tuesday, a judge ordered Henderson be put on house arrest and surrender his driver's license. During that court hearing, prosecutors read victim impact statements. Alyssa's father saying, in part, this senseless act stole every dream and milestone unachieved. Our family deserves to see accountability for the future she never had. Now, the suspect is due back in court next month. Meanwhile, a relative of the victims told us they're heartbroken and they're preparing for their funeral on Sunday.
Bringing you the very first in-person view of the man accused of running down a mother and daughter downtown. Tonight, some of Monty Henderson's freedom has been frozen. A judge is keeping Henderson on house arrest 24/7 until he goes to trial.
This comes less than 24 hours after we showed you new video of the deadly accident. And again, we do want to warn you, this video can be unsettling.
Now, the victims were visiting downtown from Chicago for a concert a couple weeks ago. Police say this video shows Henderson flying down Olive, running a red light, hitting the 2 women. We're not going to show you the moment of impact. It's really just honestly too jarring. Despite the judge's actions today, the victim's family, even legal experts, questioned Henderson's initial bond as well as charges. First Alert 4 investigator Susan Elcoury takes those questions right to the city prosecutor.
Family claims what you'll see in this video is a driver who doesn't deserve to be walking free, and they believe releasing him sends a dangerous message. But today in court, we saw a shift as the judge put more restrictions on that freedom.
Hood on, covering his face with his hair, Monty Henderson walks into court Tuesday, leaving less than an hour later without a word as his family tries to grab our camera. First Alert 4 Investigates was the first to show you this video we got from a source showing Leticia Bracero, known to many as Letty, and her daughter Alyssa Cordova. It's Valentine's Day. They're leaving the Drake concert, crossing the intersection of 18th and Olive Streets in downtown St. Louis when a Jeep runs a red light. We're stopping the video before the 2 are thrown down the street and killed. It happened so fast, you can barely see the Jeep. Police say the driver is 22-year-old Monty Henderson, accusing him of running reds and driving speeds topping 70 miles an hour on downtown streets. Cameras weren't allowed in court as prosecutors read statements from the family, asking the judge to revoke Henderson's bond and calling his driving reckless. Letty Bracero's sister writing, "They were my world. Our family will never be the same, and you took that from us." Reporting by First Alert 4 Investigates, uncovered prosecutors were not at Henderson's first hearing, where Judge Annette Llewellyn let him out on a bond that cost him $20,000. Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore not answering directly why his office wasn't at that hearing.
The matter went to a judge for an initial bond review. The judge reviewed it and issued a bond.
This time, the hearing was in front of Catherine Durker, and prosecutors were in court fighting for stricter conditions on his bond. Henderson's defense lawyer asked for leniency, saying this is Henderson's first arrest. The judge ultimately put Henderson on 24/7 house arrest with a GPS monitor, and he also had to surrender his driver's license.
Monte, what do you have to say to the
As Henderson goes from court to across the street to get his GPS monitor, he again hides his face while family tries to shield him. Do you have anything to say to the family? Ankle monitor on, he gets into a waiting car and drives off.
We'll never have them back.
Family of Letty Bracero and Alyssa Cordova tell First Alert 4 they want answers, including why Henderson was charged with involuntary manslaughter, a felony but lesser charge compared to murder. We took that concern to prosecutors.
I don't discuss pending cases. Confident that based on the facts of this case, we have made the correct charging decisions.
Family point back to the video, saying it shows a mother and daughter who should have made it home. In court today, we learned this video is just the beginning. Prosecutors say they have more video from that night showing Henderson nearly missing other cars and people on the street.
Prosecutors say they have more video from that night showing Henderson nearly missing other cars and people on the street.
With a crisis.
Item 17, this is a resolution to apologize on behalf of the Board of Supervisors of the City and County of San Francisco to African Americans and their descendants for systemic and structural discrimination, targeted acts of violence and atrocities, and committing to the rectification and redress of past policies and misdeeds.
This historic resolution apologizes on behalf of San Francisco to the African American community and their descendants for decades of systemic and structural discrimination, targeted acts of violence, atrocities, as well as committing to the rectification and redress of past policies and misdeeds. We have much more work to do, but this apology most certainly is an important step.
And right now, some leaders will back this apology while also backing drug testing to deny public assistance benefits to the poor, ramping up arrests of people addicted to drugs, criminalizing homelessness instead of housing people, building unaffordable housing for mostly wealthy white people on public housing land, and removing oversight of police when they use force disproportionately against black and brown people.
This board has already said, no money, no cash. The state said, no money, no cash. So the question that the NAACP raises, what in the world are you willing to do? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Others have gotten cash, though it was national government that gave cash. But the thing is the principle. And for to just say categorically and downright, no cash, and yet you don't have anything else to show, that is a sham.
Supervisor Peskin?
Aye.
Peskin, aye. Supervisor Preston? Preston, aye. Supervisor Ronan? Ronan, aye. And Supervisor Safagi? Safagi, aye. There are 11 ayes.
Oh, hello? Hello? David, talk to me. Is he alive? Is he breathing?
He's not breathing. He's dead.
But why, David? Why?
The fighting on the way home was unbearable, and we got here, and just from one second to the next, he was going to go to the Keys, he was going to go with Jacob, he was going to fight girls. Would it be okay if girls go and sleep over? I said no, and I told him no, and I was going to go over there tonight. He says, all right. It's not your fault, Odie.
Julie heard you. Julie heard you. Julie heard you. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, Odie. Please call my brother.
Where's your brother? Where's your brother?
Please.
Where's your brother? He's gonna go to jail.
Get on your knees. Get on your knees. Listen to what we're saying. Put your hands on top of your head. Put your hands on top of your head. All right. Interlock your fingers. Let's go. Hey, Mr. Walsh. I got you on top of your shit. I got doors. I got doors. I got the doors. Not my son. Oh my God. No one. Just me and him.
No one's in the house.
No.
What are you calling? What are you calling for?
I shot my son.
Come on, let's go.
He's right there. Right. Walk right. Oh my.
Where's your son?
Walk right in. Walk right in. 10 feet straight in.
What's your son's name?
Eric.
Eric.
I'm on the address of your emergency. Okay, and the phone number you're calling from. Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house, and we know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty.
Okay. Is your door locked?
No, I'm sitting outside with him on the front patio. And he asked us to call the police. So he's very afraid. What's your last name? He's 12 years old. Yes.
Okay, and can you ask him his date of birth?
Can you tell me your birthday?
Okay, and are the neighbors out of their home, or is anybody looking for them that you can see?
No. Our homes are far enough away. I'm not sure. How did you get out of the house?
Porch. Give it out.
He says you just left through the porch at the neighbor's house. Her name is Jody Hildebrand, and she lives 2 doors up the street. Yeah, out here in Cayenne, the houses are far apart, so he walked just under a block to get to our house. He rang my doorbell and asked me to call the police.
Does he seem to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
I don't think so, but he's very thirsty and,
Need an ambulance?
I don't think he needs an ambulance. I'll let the cops decide that, but his ankles are taped up and he won't tell us why.
Okay.
But he has duct taped around each ankle. Yeah, there's sores around him. I think there's a good chance he's been, and he has been around his ankles. I mean, his wrists as well. Okay, this boy has been This kid has obviously been. I think he's been detained. He's obviously covered in wounds.
Okay. Let's get the paramedics headed over that way, okay?
No, that's a good idea, too.
Let's see. Has he told you where his mom or dad are?
Haven't asked him that. Yeah. You know where your mom is?
I really got you.
Yeah, I'm sure that doesn't matter, son. Do you know where your mom and dad are?
Well, actually, I don't know where my mom is, but I do know where my dad is. He's not anywhere here. Really, nowhere here.
Okay. No, he doesn't seem to. He usually knows where his mom is, but
he doesn't know where his dad is.
That's correct.
I know where my dad is. Is his mom home? He doesn't live.
He just says he doesn't live around here.
Okay. Separate for the Is his mom in the area?
Is your mom around here? Have you seen her lately? He doesn't know where she is right now.
Does he know his mom's name?
What's your mom's name? Ruby Frankie?
How's it going? Good. I'm Officer Hawkins, sir. I'm looking for Pam. Is Pam in today?
That's my wife.
Is your wife? She's here?
Hi.
Hello, Pam. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm Officer Hawkins, American Fork Police Department.
Hi.
So, we had a agency assist out of St. George in Springville that we're just looking for. Okay. When you picked her up, what was the case? Did somebody ask you to pick her up, or did you just pick her up? What was going on?
Well, I'm having guests coming, and she came and did some cleaning for me.
Some cleaning for you?
We're right now in the house. In the living room, right here.
Okay, great. We're gonna have both of you come out here then.
If you can, just for a second, we just had to go over some stuff.
You have a warrant?
Yeah, we do.
Let me see it, please.
So, it's in my car, but right now, my concern is...
Will you just tell him you're all right?
Well, we have to physically see her.
Under that doorway.
We'll go ahead and get the copy of the warrant for you, okay?
You have a warrant for my house?
Specifically for you.
For you and the child.
Yeah. Okay. So,
What is going on?
as of right now, I'll just need you to give your phone to your husband. Okay. And as of this moment, you're going to be detained right now, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so,
So
is there anything on you?
No.
Okay, perfect. Just put your hands in front of you, okay? Just gonna place you temporarily under arrest. Okay? I'll explain to you that What are
you guys doing?
I've explained this already. I'm being as courteous as I can,
Okay, well, I'm gonna call an attorney.
That's fine.
I don't know what's...
Yeah, I don't even know what this is all about.
Okay. So I'm gonna explain to you when we get to the car. Yes. I just explained to you that you're being detained right now. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk you to my car, okay? I need this officer to stay with your husband, and I'm gonna explain everything to you when we get there, okay? So are you familiar with any officers in Springville?
No.
Okay. Do you have siblings or kids in St. George?
Well, I have a married daughter,
Okay. What's her name?
Stacy.
Okay. Do you know of any issues that they just went through today?
No, do you?
Yes, I do. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. So we were requested by St. George and Springfield Police to make contact here, the residents here, than to detain you currently until questions are answered. Okay?
What kind of questions?
So I'm going to call the main officers from Springville, and And that's where I'm gonna tell them that I have you detained and he can question you from now.
I'm trying to make it sound beautiful and it's not working. You have been waiting for 2 years for today.
Welcome to my recital. I've been working on the songs for you.
Once a year on Thanksgiving, I want to at least see you in a half-decent shirt. That's not his school uniform. And you look handsome. And he doesn't want it to be recorded. Helping Grandma in the kitchen. Getting ready for our big feast. Sherry turned 16 in March, and she is like, okay, Sherry, come here. Sherry, are you looking more forward to dating or driving? I get the feeling that you are more like the typical poster child for the dad who is mean to the boys as they come to pick up their daughter. Now that she's turning 16 this spring, I'm like, oh my word, you really are emotionally ready.
See you guys later.
Today we are starting off our day the way we do every day.
Popular momfluencer Ruby Franke, known for her tough love approach to parenting.
Keeping them home from school and wiping the floorboards would really bring pain.
Now set to face a Utah judge over the custody of 4 of her 6 children as she faces felony charges of child abuse.
You two stay on that corner.
And this morning, exclusive body cam footage obtained by ABC News showing the moments police swarmed Franke's Utah home the day of her arrest on August 30th.
Police department!
Guns drawn as police scour room to room in Franke's home for more of her children after one of them escaped from a house of her business partner nearly 4 hours away in Ivins, Utah.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty.
According to court documents, authorities arrived to the Ivins home to find Ruby's 10-year-old daughter described as emaciated. But more exclusive body cam confirming the whereabouts of the 2 middle children.
Oh, yeah, we have to physically see her.
A different police agency finding them miles away and turning them over to the state. This as estranged husband Kevin Franke, who's been separated from his wife since July 2022, fights for custody of their 4 minor children, all currently in the care of the state. Some of the alleged claims of neglect reported on this 911 call made by their oldest daughter, 20-year-old Sherry Franke, back in September 2022.
Hi, my name is Sherry Franke. My 4 younger siblings are living in Springville, and my neighbors have been telling me that they have been left home alone for about 4 or 5 days.
Records indicating police responded to the Franke home more than a dozen times in the last few years, as early as 2018, and wellness check in 2022. Authorities arresting Ruby and her business partner in connections, Jody Hildebrand. The 2 now face 6 counts each of felony child abuse, each charge carrying a penalty of 15 years in prison.
The criminal side could actually have a lot of influence on the family case because these are charges related to child abuse, child neglect. And when family judges are looking to determine where kids should have custody, where they should live, those types of charges can heavily affect that determination.
ABC News did reach out to attorneys for both Ruby and Kevin Franke about their custody battle, but have not heard back. In the meantime, Ruby Franke and her business partner and co-defendant, Jody Hildebrand, were denied bail and are in jail.
So, like I told you everything that I know, right? And as soon as I find out, I tell you kind of thing, right? Pretty transparent, okay? So today, your daughter in St. George was hooked up with DCFS on a possible child abuse. Okay.
My daughters? Are you sure you have the right daughter, Stacy Crane?
Someone from St. George that has their child.
No, that's not my daughter.
Okay. Well, those officers are on their way up here to talk to you.
Okay.
And talk to her.
Okay.
And DCFS is on their way as well.
Okay.
I'm not here to argue the logistics.
No, I know.
I'm telling you what I know.
It's just, those would be my granddaughters, and those aren't my granddaughters. Those are my friends' daughters.
Okay. So your friend's daughters then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is Ruby Frankie's daughter.
Okay.
She's a friend of ours. She comes over and helps me every once in a while to do cleaning and stuff.
Okay. So this is what happened, okay? Her parents were in the situation of a child abuse allegation.
Okay.
DCFS made the report and went to the house and found children malnourished and locked in a safe. Okay?
In a safe?
In a safe. Okay. So now those officers and DCFS have took custody of those children, and we're looking for this one. The rec center, when they went to go find her, said that you picked her up.
Yeah.
So now they are trying to figure out
why
you picked her up, what you know with her. Is she okay? Did she come here willingly? All that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, they
so
can
as
ask
soon as
her
they
that.
come here, we'll be on our way.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I said you're just detained. You're not placed under arrest just right now until they figure out what's going on with their part. Okay?
Okay.
So as long as she's not tied up and bound because you
I didn't make her scrub
something.
No, I did make her scrub the floor, and they vacuumed and stuff because I have company coming tonight from Costa Rica.
Okay.
So, but she did it of her own free will. We had lunch.
Yeah.
We went to Rolly's farm and had ice cream.
Okay.
So you just want what?
That's not my case. DCFS and Springfield Police Department asked me to come here, make contact with you. It's here to detain you until they can ask questions. Okay? Any other questions for now? Until they get here at least?
No, I was just scared because I thought it was my daughter. That's not my daughter. My daughter only has little kids. I mean, they don't have any kids that age.
Sorry. What was your question? Sorry, ask it again. My sergeant asked if everything was okay. So any other questions I can answer for you?
No, I just... I don't understand why having her come to my house.
Who, her?
Yeah.
Because they don't know whether it was voluntary or not. I think it's the first problem.
Okay.
And the second problem is since those children are, I don't know the full details of how mistreated or how malnourished those children are.
Okay.
All I know is that's the words and treatment that they used.
Yeah.
Which means that they are severely concerned of her well-being and every child that's in that home.
Okay. So they'll just have to talk to her
Because there has been, I've been a part of many DCFS cases where as soon as the parents are hooked up, kids are taken. If there's any kids that aren't in the home immediately when the kids are taken, guess what? They're scurrying around. Other family members are picking them up that way. The parent can come back and grab them before DCFS takes them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, you may be a good person, but there's a lot of people in this world that aren't.
Right. Well, if DCFS is supposed to take her, then they can take her. I mean, I'm not going to try to fight that. I mean,
there you go. Is it all there?
Yes. Yeah, explain to me again why this was not robbery.
Because it's a civil issue. You guys are family. She's been in the house before. You haven't been in the house in a year. She had interest in the items. She didn't take them with the intention to deprive you of them. So that's the theft code. We have to prove intent to deprive you of the items. And that wasn't her intent in having them. So the detective sergeant said that we're not going to charge her for anything.
Okay. I'll do some more research on that.
You're welcome to do that. If you want to follow up with our detectives for yourself.
Yeah, he'll be here on Tuesday. His name's Sergeant McCoy. Okay. You're welcome. Take care.
Didn't know was Chad didn't get any room. He didn't get anything. He was sleeping on the floor in the family room.
Resurfaced videos from disgraced YouTuber Ruby Frankie are now making the rounds, showing what critics call a pattern of abuse that stretches over multiple years.
Sleeping on a beanbag. Sleeping on a beanbag.
Videos Frankie herself posted describe her controversial parenting style, like forcing her teenage son to sleep on a beanbag for months, or refusing to drop her then 6-year-old daughter's lunch off at school. These videos posted years before she was arrested and charged with aggravated child abuse.
And hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
Both Frankie and her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt, were arrested on August 30th after Frankie's 12-year-old son broke free out of duct tape from Hildebrandt's home and rushed to a neighbor for help.
Our whole life's goal is to make our kids happy. And most of the time we're trying to make our kids happy, what we're actually doing is being in distortion and inviting them into a controlling dynamic.
Frankie was also behind the now defunct 8 Passengers YouTube channel that once had more than 2 million subscribers. It's now been deactivated.
Eve has been amazingly well behaved for being in town.
But you yelled at me.
Shh. The fact that I yell at my kids is a secret. We don't want our viewers to know.
When first responders arrived to the scene near Hildebrandt's home last week, they found Frankie's 12-year-old son emaciated.
Police say this is the house a young child escaped from and went to a neighbor's house asking for food and water. They said that child was severely malnourished along with another one they found inside the same home. Now, we talked to neighbors in this area and they said that they don't really know the homeowner of this home very well, but she's in business with a woman who has gained a huge following online with YouTube videos getting hundreds of thousands of views.
So being a mom's a full-time job, but
Popular Utah family vlogger Ruby Frankie was arrested Wednesday. The 41-year-old mother of 6 is known for sharing clips of her children's daily lives on their now defunct YouTube channel, 8 Passengers. Today, she and her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt, are accused of abusing some of them.
My bedroom was taken away for 7 months, and then you give it back like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think our viewers know that.
You've been sleeping on a beanbag. I was sleeping on a beanbag since October. They gave my room back like 2 weeks ago.
Police say a clearly malnourished 12-year-old child crawled out of the window of Hildebrandt's Ivans area home. A neighbor called 911 when he showed up at their house asking for food and water. Officers say his wrists were duct taped. He had wounds from being tied up across his body. Investigators say they found a 10-year-old girl inside the same house who was also malnourished. Frankie's family vlogs ended without a specific reason given. Frankie now works for the Utah County company Connections, along with Hildebrandt. It's described as a treatment program for those with mental health and addiction issues. Connections has been the subject of a lot of controversy, specifically for its teachings on parenting. Many of Frankie's siblings are also online content creators. Her sisters released a social media statement saying, quote, Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe. Frankie's eldest daughter, Sherry, posted this picture on Instagram with the caption, finally. In the next slide, she said her family is glad justice was served. She wrote, quote, we've been trying to tell police and CPS for years about this, end quote. The Santa Clara Ivans Police Department did not provide an update on the children's condition. According to the Washington County Sheriff's Office, Frankie is still in custody. At this point, we know the Santa Clara Ivans Police Department is working with the Springville Police Department on this case.